What is the goal of Buddhism? Think of it this way. Morality is like a good rulebook for life. It teaches us to be good people, to not harm others, and to live peacefully in society. Most religions have similar moral rules. But Buddhism is more like a complete training manual to end suffering forever. Morality helps you behave well, but it can't protect you from the deepest forms of suffering, like getting sick, growing old, dying, or from the inner turmoil of your own greed, anger, and confusion. It doesn't get to the root of the problem. Buddhism, however, aims for total freedom. Its direct goal is to uproot those inner causes of suffering completely and put a permanent end to the pain of life. The core problem: we don't really know things. We go through life thinking we understand things like our jobs, money, relationships, and even ourselves. But do we truly know what they are? Because we don't see things clearly, we act in ways that create suffering. If we knew the true nature of things, we would act correctly, and suffering simply couldn't arise. The core solution: see things as they really are. The main practice in Buddhism is to train your mind to understand everything around you, both physical things and thoughts and feelings. One comes to understand three fundamental truths about all things. One, anicca, or impermanence. Everything is subject to change and does not endure. For instance, as we age, we may notice wrinkles, a sign that our youth is fleeting. 2. Dukkha, or unsatisfactoriness. Because of its impermanent nature, nothing can provide lasting happiness. The appearance of wrinkles, for example, can bring feelings of disappointment and dissatisfaction, which can lead to suffering. 3. Anatta, or not self. Nothing possesses a permanent, unchanging core. Everything is interconnected and dependent on other factors. If nothing is permanent, how can we truly possess anything? Right now, we are attached to things because we think they are permanent, satisfying, and can make us happy. But when you see clearly that they are not, your mind naturally lets go. This letting go is what brings freedom. The Buddha's core teaching, the Four Noble Truths, is a perfect guide to knowing what's what. The first noble truth asserts that all conditioned phenomena inherently involve suffering. This directly indicates the nature of all things. They are all, by their very nature, a foundation for suffering. However, individuals often fail to recognize or perceive that all things are subject to suffering, leading them to desire them. If they were aware of the suffering inherent in these things, understanding that they are not inherently desirable, should not be clung to, and are not worth attaching oneself to, they would not experience such desires. The second noble truth elucidates that craving, stemming from ignorance, is the root cause of suffering. People continue to lack the knowledge, insight, and comprehension that this craving is the very source of their suffering. Consequently, they engage in countless forms of craving driven by the power of ignorance without truly understanding the nature of this craving. The third noble truth elucidates that nirodha, or nibbana, signifies the cessation of craving, a state devoid of suffering. Despite its accessibility in the present moment, precisely where craving ceases, this understanding appears to be even less prevalent. This lack of awareness leads to a disinclination to pursue the extinguishing of craving, or to aspire towards nibbana, as its true nature remains unknown. Subsequently, the fourth noble truth, known as the path, presents the method for eliminating craving. However, the significance of practicing this method for the cessation of craving is not widely grasped. The Noble Eightfold Path, capable of extinguishing craving, fails to capture the interest of many. Lacking an understanding of their true refuge and what merits the greatest effort, individuals often disregard the Buddha's noble path, which represents the most profound and sublime knowledge in the world. This situation, marked by a lack of understanding, is indeed concerning. The Four Noble Truths offer a comprehensive understanding of reality. They explain that engaging with craving leads to suffering. Despite this knowledge, we often succumb to craving, thereby perpetuating our suffering. This demonstrates a failure to grasp reality, leading to actions that are ultimately misguided. While actions may seem right to those driven by desires and attachments, in the context of the Dhamma, such actions are not considered truly righteous. In short, the Four Noble Truths show us what is what. They tell us that craving leads to suffering, yet we still crave. This is the foolishness of not knowing reality. If we saw clearly, we would stop creating our own suffering and find true peace.